Hi guys, it's Mrs. Carr. This week we're going to be talking about adverbs for our grammar. An adverb has the word verb in it. So the adverb is going to have something to do with a verb. And that something is, an adverb is a word that describes a verb. So think about what an adverb actually is. Remember? It's a word that describes a verb. So an adverb can tell you how something is done. So if your verb, that's an action word, might be smiled, well, how would you smile? You might smile kindly. And that would make kindly your adverb because it describes how the verb was done. If knocked was your verb, because you can knock, well, how did you knock? You knocked loudly. I loudly knocked on the door, making loudly your adverb. Then if you waited and waited and waited, how did you wait? You waited impatiently, and impatiently would be your adverb. Or if you were to run, how did you run? And of course, all of you kids would run quickly, and quickly would be your adverb. Do you notice something at the ending of all of these adverbs? Good. Usually when you're telling how a verb happens, it is going to end with an ly. That is telling you how something happened. Adverbs can also tell you how often something is done. How often would be like how much or how many times. So how often can be words like often. So if you were to eat as your verb, when do you eat? I eat often. I often eat Skittles. Or if the verb is walk, how often do you walk? Well, hopefully it is regularly. You would regularly walk, hopefully. Now, if your verb was play, how often do you play? Well, sometimes I play. Or talk. If your verb was talk, how often do you talk? Well, hopefully this is not true, but you could say, I never talk. And never would be your adverb because it tells how often you do something. So what is an adverb you can use to describe how often you have homework? You could say, I have homework regularly, or I never have homework, or I always have homework. Those would be adverbs that describe how often you have that verb. Then, adverbs can also tell when something is done. So you think about some of those when words, and if they're describing a verb, they are adverbs. So look at your verbs in black, and the adverb is going to tell you when that verb happened. So before, reading, sang yesterday, arrived early, going now. All of your words in red are your adverbs because they're telling when that verb happened or is going to happen. So think about this. What is an adverb you can use to describe when you have recess? Okay, you can say, I played yesterday at recess. I played early at recess. Anything that's going to describe when you did your verb of play. Let's look at this one. Adverbs can also tell where something is done. Adverbs are very complex because they do a lot of stuff for your verb. So they can also tell where. So the verbs are in black again, and your adverbs are in red. So your verb is what you do, and your adverb tells where it was done. So driving, everywhere. Everywhere would be where the driving happened. Or ran, outside. Outside is your adverb that says where the running took place. Flew, near. Near would be where the verb happened. and shopped there. Well, wherever there is, the location is where you had shopped. So think about this one. What is an adverb you can use to describe where you can read a book? Think about where you could read. I read at home. I read near the flower shop. I read there. Those would be adverbs that describe a location of where you had read. So that's about it for adverbs. Go ahead and think about what adjectives and adverbs have in common and how they differ from each other. Remember, an adjective describes a noun and an adverb describes a verb. Bye, guys.